Well, thank you everybody for your patience. It is now 3:30 and we have our final presentation in the high technology track. And the business and company is Busybody. Catherine.
Thank you all for being here. First, I'd like to thank my advisor, Dr. Goff, for contributing a lot to this ad. There we go. All right, so my name is Catherine Putney, and I'm currently a master's student in economics here at UNH, and I'm looking forward to proposing you my application. So growing up, I can't tell you how many times I've missed the school bus. Being one of 4 kids, and without bias, the favorite, I can tell you that my mom had to deal with this all the time, having to drop her morning routine to bring one of us to school because we missed the bus. That's the problem nowadays. Time's precious to parents. They're busy. I've never heard a parent say, wow, I had so much time today to do all the things I needed to do. It doesn't happen. And kids miss the bus all the time. This co-aligns with the issue that parents are busy. They love predictability. Parents want to have a prediction of their daily schedule, their daily routine. They hate uncertainty. And when it comes to missing the bus, parents can't predict that until now. So what's the solution? I've introduced to you Busybody. Your busybody, their bus buddy. An application that revolutionizes the way parents communicate with their child's transportation and everyday school needs. So how does it work? Well, one of the many services, and probably the most important, is tracking your child's school bus. Oftentimes parents who sit out in the cold and the rain and snow not knowing when your kid's school bus is going to come because you don't want them to miss it, it's just a waste of time. So how exactly does this aspect work? You log into the app, choose the preferred proximity warning. So if your kid's bus stop is down the driveway, you can set the warning alarm on your phone to 1 minute. If it's down the street, maybe you want your phone to ring when it's 5 minutes out. Also, you can set dates. Say Monday, your kid has soccer practice after school. You don't need your phone to ring when the bus is coming on Monday, so you set the dates from Tuesday to Friday. And then you just let the app go to work. The alarm will ring your phone when the bus becomes within that proximity that you set, allowing for a more efficient morning and allowing you to do things that you couldn't do before because you're sitting outside in the cold and the rain. On top of this, you can also report your child's attendance, tardy, or dismissal with the software that will be integrated into the current administrative school software that the secretary uses. No more written notes, no more tedious phone calls. And coming from the introvert myself, I don't even like to call and takeout. So having to not call into a school would be great for me if I had a kid. All you have to do is just log in with the touch of a button and report your absence, dismissal, or tardy to the school. I actually went into my elementary school. I walked right in, talked to the secretary, who was my secretary at the time, and she tells me she wastes 3 hours every day sifting through dismissal notes that the kids have to bring in when they're absent. And also all the phone calls that she has to take. She just wastes so much time. So it's not only beneficial for the parents, it's beneficial for the school administration as well. On top of all this, you can receive memos, announcements through this application, whether it be your kid's school lunch menu, school events such as a play, or parent-teacher meetings. This bridges the gap of communication between parents and the school system. This just shows how it all dynamically fits together. The parent logs in, you can track the bus will alert you of your preferred setting, 1 minute out, 2 minutes out, 3 minutes out, whatever you want, you can choose, and it will ring your phone when the bus is within that distance. And then the school can send the memos to the parents, while the parents can report absences, tardies, or dismissals through this application. So here's just a little snippet, just to save time. I took any part of it from my video. Just log in, choose your service, report attendance, drop my bus, send your warning alert, this one's 2 minutes out, report their attendance. In this case, today, February 24th, Johnny Smith will be dismissed at 11:30. Sign off on it and send it in. And it will be sent to the school administration, who will be aware of it and have it integrated into their administrative system. So this is Sarah. Sarah uses Busybuddy, and because she uses Busybuddy, she's a more controllable and predictable morning. This allows her to do her makeup, check her emails, have breakfast with her family, and also read the newspaper. All the time that she could otherwise have been spent outside sitting in the rain and the cold for their kid's bus to show up of an unknown arrival. So for the target market, it's actually segmented into 2 different groups. First and most importantly is to get school districts on board. We need them in order for the parents to purchase the application, and to incentivize the school districts to purchase this, they're going to get 3% of the application revenues from what we're going to make on the application. So we're targeting married and single parents in primary school children in rural and urban areas. And there's going to be some spillover into middle schools because the GPS system that goes onto the buses, they're all used in elementary school, middle school, and high school. So it does apply to middle school as well. The market potential is huge. 50 million people attend school every single day. And of that 50 million, 26 million ride the bus. Assuming about 2 kids per family, that's 13 million households that will benefit from just the bus service alone, not the attendance reporting. And this is a modest number because we're not considering the divorce rate. We consider the divorce rate to be a lot higher than that. Again, child safety is a very high importance for us. We don't want some GI Joe off the street to be able to get this application and be able to see, track the buses. So because of that, we're going to have a student or family ID number for families with multiple children in the same school. And with that paired with the username, password, and the ID number that they will receive from the school district itself, it will ensure the safety of the children. So I'm not an engineer, but I do understand a little bit of how the technology has to work. The GPSs will be installed on all the buses for real-time tracking. This will allow you to also look at where the bus is instead of just get notified. You can see where it actually is, as well as the school software system. We're not going to require a whole new software for the school administration. That would de-incentivize them to purchase this app. We're going to have a professional engineer that will integrate a software system into their current administrative software. So secretaries don't have to learn a whole new administration. It will be integrated in and be more efficient for their daily lives. And not only is this efficient and convenient for the school system and the parents, it's also environmentally friendly. 50 million students, roughly absent 5 times a year, that's 5 notes. Divided by roughly 8,000 sheets of paper per tree, they can save 30,000 trees per year in the US alone. So this is also very sustainable. As far as the organizational structure goes, it's going to be segmented into 2 different paths, the IT path and the sales path. And the sales path is gaining the market, gaining the district. We go to the app, and the IT side is doing all the engineering, the application software, developing the app itself. So as far as the financial goes, you can see we break even after year 2, which is really good considering the large startup costs and the low operating costs. And I want to stress the importance that can't be taken from this is that the nonlinear profit stream in the long term, because this is considering all the startup costs of installing the software and installing the application itself, it doesn't consider the new revenue from all the new parents coming in after each year. The parents from new first graders every single year, we're getting their revenue from that without having to incur the costs that we had for the installation of the GPS from 3 years ago. We don't have to install a new GPS system every single year. So we're going to gain that profit while not having to incur the costs, which shows the nonlinear profit stream. So the key financial takeaways is that there's going to be low operating costs once everything is incurred, large startup costs, and with a break even after 2 years. And this just shows that plot in net income, EBITDA, and gross profit from all of this. The business framework is to start local. We don't want to get too big too fast and have some kinks in the mix. We want to be professional and get it right the first time. So once we get it right locally, gain exposure, gain professionalism, then we will expand. So for all the aforementioned reasons, Busybuddy is requesting an investment of $1 million with 30% equity in the company. We're taking a strong hold on bridging this gap lack of the communication between parents and their child's school and transportation system. Thanks. Yep.
How did you come up with your current valuation?
Just through looking at the income sheet, all the costs and all the potential future benefits from it, all the non-linear profit. I know it's
You requested the 30%.
3, yeah,
He's thinking a little bit higher. than
over 3
30%.
million.
I know that you're not a technologist, and those of your drawing, you had the technology pieces put in there, but why wouldn't this be simply developed as a cloud-based application of existing technology platforms? In other words, there's nothing unique in here that would not be put directly into a Microsoft Azure system. As a startup venture, would cut your startup costs tremendously, would allow you to deploy this without having to have any infrastructure costs whatsoever, and the schools wouldn't have to modify their software. All they have to do is provide a stream up and down from it.
Yeah, log into to a cloud-based system.
Through a cloud-based system?
Which would also reduce
Yeah.
your
Reduce
probably
costs tremendously.
your integration and installation costs.
Plus, almost all the school systems, they're very diverse and very disparate and all very difficult to maintain, while most of them now have informational feeds, extracts that can go up and down to a cloud where it gets unified. So,
Yeah, I'm not professional in the engineering department, but that would be something to know.
it'd be something worth you taking the time to look
Well,
at.
the reason you want to look at that is it's going to save you money. It's also going to assist in
Absolutely.
acceptance.
The other thing you have to deal with is time to market for this product. What is your
Yeah,
what's your
absolutely.
assumed time to market?
There's this right here. We have our projected schedule, and we start the marketing campaign very well earlier on than the actual launch. And we want to have 2 trial runs, so we're going to get 2 school districts on board to do a trial run to see how everything flows.
If I look at the first model, the bus notification, it sounds very much like what Uber does right now. So send you a short message when the
Yep.
Uber is out 2 minutes and you just go outside. And this seems very different from the other 2 services you offer. So why you want to launch with these 3 very separate offers? The bus, the communication from the school, and the communication to the school.
So that's a good question, because there are other competitors out there that is bus tracking, but it's not like this. This is one universal communication system between parents and the school system and the transportation. They don't want to have to go through this system to find out information from their school, and then this system for the bus. It's all in one convenient location. And what we set ourselves above par for, as competition-wise, is the fact that you get alerted of the bus arrival. All these other competitors, you have to real time just stare at a screen in the morning, watching where the location is. It doesn't ring your phone. It doesn't make it any more convenient in your day. You can't do your other tasks. So the ringing of the phone, like an alarm, like a morning alarm, is what really sets it above par.
Do buses already have GPSs installed?
Depends on the school district.
It all depends. The Boston Public School District has them, but there's so many difficulties with their tracking system right now. I mean, it's every other day they say they have their buses in the Atlantic Ocean.
But I guess my point is that I'm trying to, the upfront costs,
Yep.
which also will include political costs of going into a school district and trying to convince them that you would need to hook their hardware onto the buses. So if they already have GPSs that you can tap into,
Yep.
it starts to smooth the waters a little bit.
But there's a
But
good
one
point.
has a cell phone, so I think the hardware is the lowest cost.
So there is a cost to the school district plus a variable cost of if you want to add number of school districts. If you only want to test it out on one school in the district first, it's a fixed cost plus the cost of that one, and then you want to add more. It just, it adds up. But the point is that it incentivizes the fact that they earn money off the parents' revenue from the application is an incentivizer for the school districts to basically promote our product for us, because they can eventually make their money back. Not completely, but they can make much more money back if they incentivize their parents to buy the apps, because they'll make 3% of the revenue from that.
can schools do a revenue share? Are they allowed to do things like that? I mean, I'm just thinking like kind of kickback rules that may apply to sort of public purchasing. Is that?
To be honest with
I'm
you,
not
it's
sure.
probably not gonna be
I'm
the
not
school
sure the
district.
school district level,
No.
but
No, I think this is gonna end up, my gut tells me this is PTOs, this is PTO money, this isn't gonna come out of a budget.
Right.
This is gonna come out of a PTO budget with this.
For support.
All of the.
Yeah, whatever the sport version is gonna be.
and over time it ended up being very less costly because the parents will end up paying for making up for the cost of what the school district will put up.
How's the Boston implementation doing? I mean, other than putting aside the Atlantic Ocean comment, I mean, do parents think this is like awesome and there's a huge market potential for it, or has that been kind of, meh, and if so, why?
It's meh. The reason being that they have to live feed and it's not an application, it's online. They have to get on the computer and do it. They have to get on the computer, stare at the screen of where the bus is, and half the time it's in the Atlantic Ocean. So that's the reasons why it has.
So you think that's an exexecution problem rather
Yeah.
than a product problem?
Yep.
I was gonna say, there's so many tools out there for tracking vehicles, it's very, very actively using today, I can't see where that would be.
A lot of new automobiles have stuff built into it already, not even just typical cars, but buses. So that'd be a good thing to look into for the technology innovation on that.
Did you check to see what the Department of Transportation, federal level as well as state, is going to mandate in the next few years as regarding location, media location information from all school buses? Because I do believe there's a movement afoot to have that required. I don't know when it's supposed to happen, but I know that was.
No, I'm not aware.
Again, what you're doing is you're
That'd be
answering,
great if
the
that's-
hard- you're answering,
yeah,
you're
that's
answering
true.
the cost problem,
Mhm.
and then you still have to find a way to drive customer acceptance. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a customer acceptance issue.
The Boston system, do the parents pay for it or is it free?
It's public, so it's free.
Free. But I think the question I'm going to keep asking, going back to, you want to see this as an integrated system
Yes.
that allows you to have communication. You're looking at it at a school by school. I see this more as a cloud services company where you could have any number of schools, any number of bus companies, et cetera, registered because again, it's economy of scale.
It's all web-based.
Yeah, it's a very web-based technology. I think I agree with you on one thing right off the bat is just offering the bus information is not going to get much acceptance. Offering the bus information, the ability to immediately communicate with the school and get communications back, that has some.
Yeah, and that's what sets up this application above all the other bus tracking apps, is the other services it applies.
Have you looked at, or thought about other markets? And I was former CEO of the New Hampshire Department of Transportation. And I had lots of pieces of equipment all over the state. And in any given winter storm, I would always want to know where my 500 plow trucks were, for example. And I could envision this being a useful piece, knowing how many pieces of equipment I have on Interstate 93, Interstate 95, this Spalding Turnpike, where are they at? Trying to, from a logistics perspective, moving equipment around. I could see that as a useful tool.
Yeah, maybe, that's part of the expansion of the product life cycle, the product extension to other sorts
More than
of
that.
systems.
If you
Fire
change,
trucks
if you
and
change, if
municipalities.
you change the basic structure of the company and you say what we do is provide tracking services via mobile applications, and then you have taking all that data, so you can do it statewide, right?
Think of New York City Police Department, right? The thousands of
Police
pieces
cars.
of equipment that they have.
But they're already gonna be tracking it, but if you then have one location where your cloud server, your one-stop shop,
Yeah, I think
and you
you're
can
talking
take the information out of it.
The problem is, I think that problem, like right down the street at Profit Tools in Lee, they've already solved that problem. They're selling that to the trucking industry every day. I don't know very too many police departments that don't have that tracking built into their, most of their police cars now.
Which district have you targeted to start conversations with?
Manchester School District, so I substitute teach there most of the time. My mom works there, and that's where I grew up. So I talk to the principal. I have other friends that are teachers and principals there. So
Have you met with Mayor Gatsis yet? You thought about meeting with Mayor Gatsis? He's a UNH alum. He would meet with you in a minute.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we should talk
That's a great
after.
idea.
We should talk.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
Do the schools provide the buses or is it an outsourced service?
It's another service, so we would have to, get their permission to integrate into the GPS systems of their schools, school buses. But it is a good spillover effect of having the same buses go from elementary, middle, high school. It's all within a specified time, and I can't control the actions of the transportation of high school students because they're 16 and they drive. But there could be some, free spillover into the middle school genre.
Have you thought about so many parents now using embedded chip technologies in their children and other tracking services to track where their children are, adding that to your applications on the phone?
Yeah, that would be, again, another sort of product extension, maybe having some sort of check-in system when they get on the bus and things like that.
Another thought too is I'm thinking of this even more, for these athletic programs with students, even at the UNH college level, when these buses are going out, knowing when they're getting back to town, knowing when the students are coming back on a trip or whatever. I see this beyond just the day-to-day, Johnny going to school type of situation.
Absolutely. I mean, I was a high school athlete growing up, and I'm very young for whatever grade I was in, so I always have to get rides and playing free sports, taking the bus everywhere every day. I'd have to, manage while I was on the bus, ask the coach, hey, when's the bus going to be back at school? And tell me, and I have to, communicate with my parents, pick me up. So I can solve a lot of those issues.
Yeah.
How do you think about sustainable competitive advantage? In other words, if someone that's more well-funded, maybe a busing company, for instance, says, this is an awesome idea, we're going to hire some folks to write an app and do it. Why do you win?
Because of my passion, my initiative. Does that do it? But
Who do I make the check out to?
yeah,
Good job.
that's a good question.
Well, it's a long-winded way of saying, is there anything like patentable or you think that is?
I don't. So
Insecure.
I looked into that. I don't think the technology provided is patentable, because I think it's just, for lack of a better word, a smorgasbord of other simple applications all in one. So I think that's competitive. I did buy the domain name, so they can't steal my name.
Solid.
So I have busybuddy.com as mine.
I like the fact you're talking with Manchester because I think, lots of people have good ideas, but executing is right where the business is at.
Yeah.
So your profit and the way your company runs is going to be in providing and growing this as a service industry, basically.
Yeah, start local and then expand services.
What's your exit strategy?
Exit strategy is, once it expands to basically before its peak, is for me at least to sell it. But before its peak, is people realize businesses.
Have you thought about what kind of company or companies might be interested in purchasing
Great
this
question.
product?
Definitely GPS, tracking industries, safety, maybe companies just that enhance the safety, ADT perhaps.
I would bet you that if you get into basically these two gentlemen were talking about, a larger cloud-based solution, you expand potential purchasing options because you're talking about data, you're talking about numbers, you're talking about.
Well, with the expansion would be easier as well in terms of cost-wise, because it's
If you
a
look at
cloud-based system.
companies such as Google and others, Yahoo, Uber, the model might very well fit with very, very large enterprises that could take it to a national level and scale rather than trying to sell it to somebody much smaller.
Yeah.
What it will need is large scale infrastructure, tremendous scalability to make it
Yeah.
roll out to a much larger audience. The basic application wouldn't really change very much. What changes is the underlying infrastructure that we need
Yeah.
to power it.
Yeah, I considered in the financials having yearly software updates and things like that. So that's what went into the cost.
It's this cool one now. So secretary gets absentee notes. What does she do with it? Does she enter it in the computer system? Or
The
is it
notes
just
she has to read them and type it in the computer system and file it, and then make a note of it and send the note back to the teacher.
So you would have to get your system hooked up with the existing system?
Yes, they would integrate into the system managed to use is called Aspen, so it's an administrative software. So rather than having my 88-year-old secretary have to learn a whole new software system, it integrates and works with the current one that's existing, so you don't have to, learn a whole new.
Okay, so there's an API or something?
Yeah,
There's an
interface based.
API or some interface?
Yeah.
Okay.
Tell us about the pricing. How'd you come up with the $199? Was it $199 per device? Is it per household?
Per month on a device, yes. So
So if I have a device, my wife has a device, is it $1.99 each, or is it for?
actually no, it's for the student ID number. So like I said with the safety thing,
Okay, I'm sorry.
and so the student ID essentially you can get the application and you pay for the student ID number. This also is a safety concern as well because we don't want anyone off the street getting this application. This comes with the purchase from the administrative from the school system. So, and there's allows for like a drop-down menu because most families have more than one kid. So when they log in, they can choose which child they want to
Track.
track. Yeah.
Very good.
Gentlemen, one last question?
Feel free to clap.
You're ready to clap.
Thank you.